Welcome to my review of Super Doom 64, Mario Internal 64, Doom Eternal. Let's be honest, some of the level of Doom Eternal look like Super Mario levels. But jokes aside, Doom has always been a benchmark in the game industry, and this sequel isn't the exception. This testosterone pumping gore fest is a masterpiece on its own, and no introduction is needed. Considering how the FPS market is looking today, with the Activision pumping every year a new code game like there is no tomorrow, Doom Eternal was a real treat. And thank God it isn't named Doom 2, because referring to this Doom as Doom 2016 and to this Doom as the original Doom is just confusing enough. And I need to say, I'm not going to spoil any major story elements, so don't worry. So let's see why Doom Eternal in my eyes is already a classic. Let's begin with this video and rip and tear away this review. Let's start with the graphic to get that out of the way. It is amazing. It feels like somebody took the original Doom and slapped a fresh paint job on it. The mix of the color palettes from red, purple, green feels like an homage to the original Doom. The graphics are amazingly good and smooth looking with no slowdowns at all, except the last boss fight, where the fight was just pure madness and I was simply lost of the chaos what was unfolding around me. The architecture is pure eye candy. How did they display the different levels like the hell-infested earth with the huge ugly fleshy demon parts devouring every part of the city. The cultist's ice-covered base. And of course, the deepest and darkest parts of hell. How they throw you from one level to another with the environment and color palette changing is just great. And honestly, the battles are looking like somebody overdosed on the good stuff. And look at the Christmas tree. The sheer amount of colors through the battle can be confusing sometimes because every pickup is a specific color. Like the health, blue, armor green, and so on, you get the point. And when you start ripping demons apart like Leatherface is your daddy and the pickups started popping off the demons like somebody shot a piñata, it is sometimes too much. Hope you don't get easily motion sickness because this game gonna push some buttons, with so much stuff happening all at once. Another thing that was great was the face expressions of the demons before you kill them. How they are looking at your blade before you pierce their skull makes you feel like a real slayer. The whole game is like a heavy metal inspired world, and sometime after the fast-paced combat I would just stop and enjoy the graphic and the aesthetic the game has, because there is so much tiny details packed in the game, it is insane. Plus, the soundtrack of Mike Gordon is just madness on its own. When you first start the soundtrack kicking in, it's like somebody jump started you hard and you feel like your blood rushing in your finger as fast as possible just to press the square button to rip another demon torso apart with a blood-soaking chainsaw. The mix with the low-tuned heavy guitars and basses mixed with the dubstep elements are just awesome. And how they are implemented with the game is just pure perfection. For this soundtrack he teamed up a group of heavy metal artists and singers to help him to make this masterpiece. And I hope in future we see a lot of more of this. Plus there are also so easier songs on the list, what I found also good for the less intense moments. The gameplay is just pandemonium. Doom Eternal evolves the FPS genre in the right direction. From the start the game feels just right, and it doesn't waste your time at all. Immediately on the first level you're greeted with your shotgun, how it actually should be. So you don't need to battle your way with the pistol just to get the real first weapon and forget that the pistol even exists. Secondly, you see your new shiny blade. It helps you in the quest to rip every living demon in small pieces like a human meat grinder. Plus, this little body on your shoulder, the grenade launcher, what actually gives the player real freedom, because in the same time you can shoot and throw grenades. And they have also included a double dash, so the mobility of the Doom guy is really high. You know how the Spider-Man games makes you feel like Spider-Man? Well, this game makes you feel also like Spider-Man. It is amazing how light and agile you feel, but id Software designed the whole game around dashing and jumping, so you don't become overpowered. So they needed to include different kind of enemies as well as some clever level design. The problem with the 2016 reboot was that some of the weapons like the super shotgun were overpowered, and the developers saw that problem and made improvements on this game. Every weapon is so much effective for one type of the enemy and so ineffective for the other. So if you think you're gonna blast your way through with a single weapon, you're wrong, cause Cacodemon's gonna swallow you in a second. But a huge limitation is the ammo count, because you're gonna be very low on ammo most of the time, and you're gonna used to be seeing this blinking the whole goddamn time. So the whole fight results you're gonna search for the low tier enemies, as they are basically running ammo crates just waiting to be ripped apart with a chainsaw. Then you run into the mid tier guys, burn them to get some armor, try to do some damage, run away, heal, refill and repeat. Well, it isn't that boring how it sounds, because everything combined works smooth as butter, and the levels are most included with teleports, swinging bars and other things to help you to move as quickly as possible from one corner to another, feeling like a certain plumber after eating too much mushrooms. And thank god they almost doubled the enemy count, so you worry even more. Combat is resolved like a dance on the map, where you simply try to avoid the hordes of demons. From Gargoyle trying to puke on you, Pinky wants to headbutt you, plus Doom Hunter wants to show his rockets up your butt cheeks. This time even the weaker enemies can quickly kill you if you don't pay attention. But the real problem are the mid-sized guys, like Cacodemus, Reverend and Incubus. And this thing that looks like my ex. And this thing that looks like a snake, and she's a pain in the ass. The two variations of the attack she possesses is that she's trying to bite your ballsack off, so you need to watch your feet, or whip you into pieces like she is the wife of Richard Belmont. Yeah, real classy. She's quick and agile, and the easiest way I find to kill her is with the missile lock-on. The thing is, every enemy you need to approach with another tactic, what makes the whole fight real strategic. You need to control the map and your movement, and aside from that, watching on ammo count is crucial. And you will get out of ammo fast if you don't use the right weapon on the right enemy. Cause if you're going to try to kill a cyber mancubus without destroying his armor, well, you will end up dry on ammo very fast. So your chainsaw is your best buddy, and the glory kills help you to replenish your health. Where credit is needed to give is the creativity of the glory kills. You're gonna separate demon in halves, break their arm and with their own bone pierce their head, to rip and open a demon chest like it's a present.
Oh, that's brutal.
And how every time you approach a demon from a different side, you're gonna get a different glory animation is just perfection. Now, we need to address the few big guys, the Baron of Hell and Cyber Demon. I didn't find them a huge problem. To kill those you just use your minigun plus missile launcher and you're good to go most of the time. The Archwheel are fun to deal with, they all will stand on the spot and try to summon demons. But aside those, let's come to the real 2F. First, the Doom Hunter. It's a cyber tank demon which harasses you with the missiles, and to kill him you first need to shout his defensive system with the lasers and then attack him with missiles. When you combine the sheer amount of things happening, plus this guy is trying to shoot you from a distance, it isn't fun at all. But the crown goes to this dude. He gave me literally nightmares. He's basically made to kill Doom Guy and your will to live. He possesses the ability to shoot you with your shotgun if you try to keep distance, and when you're trying to come close, he will try to slash you into pieces with his axe. He has a bullet reflecting shield and the ability to sound a really fast wolf to bite you as you're trying to swing your way across the levels to get rid of him. And that's maybe the first bad part I wanna address. The enemy works great alone as a boss fight, but the problem is when the other demons come in the mix, because it can get a little repetitive to kill him, because he has just a small window where he's vulnerable. The two options: first, kill him while being harassed from the other low tier demons, or kill the low tier enemies and try to avoid him. But still, the gameplay in my opinion is better than a 2016 reboot. And let's address one more thing, and that's the platforming. So platforming in a FPS was always a hit and miss situation. The only game that just made it okay was maybe the Far Cry games with the tower climbing. But well, Doom Eternal wasn't that bad. As I said, you possess ability to double dash and double jump. You need to reach certain platforms and you climb on walls, like a Spider-Man Doom, and what looks and sounds actually awesome. The paths are easily spotted, mostly hinted with green lights aside from the hidden path. And I need to say I had some fun with those segments, and I get the developers wanted to change the pace from time to time. What was alright and I didn't mind at all. So, to address the secrets, they are on every corner and you're gonna be teased on every step with a hint from where they might be. The secrets are divided in many categories, like old floppy disk to unlock cheat codes, figures from demons you fight, to my favorite, collecting records. As that isn't great on itself, in Doom Eternal you have now the possibility to explore the Doom Guy's spaceship, acting as his solitude man cave, where you can see all the things you collected through the game, hear the records you find, and they are presented as posters on the wall, the figures sitting on the shelf, a wall with your weapons, plus in the ship is also unlockable things like power-ups and armors. And the best part is the Doom Guy's guitar collection. I can just imagine the Doom Guy blasting his metal into space and playing some video games in the spare time from killing demons. Doom Eternal possesses also a bit of a RBG system, like runes, weapon upgrades and power-ups to boost your health and armor. It's really standard stuff and you see it almost all in the previous games. The Gore Nest also made it in the game, where you're gonna face your toughest challenges. And this is the part of the game where your skills gonna be tested. When you complete all of them, you're rewarded with this little baby, what is actually like a mini BFG gun. The BFG gun 9000 is also in the game. No extra words needed here, it is just a big gun. Aside from him, you have your standard shotgun with two abilities to shoot as a minigun or throw grenades. The machine gun acting as a sniper rifle or a mini rocket launcher like in Doom 2016. The ballista gun replacing the Gauss gun with a single power shot, or the long charging blade like laser shot what separates demons in half. A FPS without a missile launcher isn't a FPS game, so a launcher is also available with two modes, like to detonate the missiles where you wish, and the awesome lock-on ability what I use really often to save my fat ass from dying. The minigun with two great weapon modes. First is the mode with the active shield to protect you from incoming damage, but you need to watch your back. And the amazing multi-barrel turret mode where you can shoot your way through hordes of enemies until your barrels melt. The plasma rifle with a mode to make demons explode, what was a great thing to slow down fast enemies. And my favorite, of course, the super shotgun, with a meat hook attached on it, so you feel like you're an inverted version of Scorpion from Mortal Kombat. And I use it all the time to fly over the whole level. You possess also ability to do a glory punch to kill enemies around you, and the chainsaw needs no introduction, it is used to get your ammo. Plus one more melee weapon, and this is the Crucible. This works as a one-shot BFG gun, how it makes you feel like can't be described.
Hell yeah.
Well, I don't have really much to say about the story honestly. Many complain where is there a story in the first place. A Doom game doesn't need a deep story, am I right? Well, in my opinion the story as a whole was just alright. And it doesn't force itself over the gameplay. You're chasing those priests and trying to save Earth. Acting like the savior of human race is pretty standard stuff. I mean, if you know the story and the lore of Doom inside and out and have a better understanding of the story, it would be somehow a different experience. But sadly, I didn't dive that deep in the lore. It would be nice that they included some audio logs like in Bioshock, in the slower parts of the game where you search for every corner of the map for secrets. I found some audio logs, but the problem was as soon as you walk a bit away you can't hear them anymore and it doesn't switch to your helmet, what was a bit of disappointment. This could be a great way to tell the story. The third view cutscenes were okay, they really showed how the Doom guy was feared amongst the others, like how he took this car from this dude, or even took from this guy his gun just to show who is the boss around here. And I didn't mind those things at all. But the lore itself, well, it was a bit too much for me. I read some of the stuff, but it's just messed with the flow of the game. There are so many infos of the enemies, from weakness, strength, even the history of every place you visit. You can get a clear view of why the things are the way they are. And I said to myself I would read it after I finished the game to get a better understanding. And well, I didn't. Well, don't get me wrong, there is a rich lore for you who want to invest the time. And for the others who are complaining about the cutscenes, you can skip it, so don't make a big deal of it. And I said at the beginning I'm not gonna dive deep in the lore anyway, so you can do that by yourself. To sum everything up, I beat Doom 100%, I found every secret plus upgraded every weapon. The game just got me hooked up. Doom Eternal is already a classic. How they took the 2016 reboot and made it bigger, better and more badass, this is how you need to make a sequel. The game is just more refined, enemies and weapons are more tweaked, the Doom guy is more badass than ever. Maybe the platform segments and cutscenes aren't for everyone, what I do understand. But still, I found them good and I'm happy they were included to change the pace from the fast combat. Id Software knew the demographic audience they targeted and they showed that. In so many ways, from including fan favorite weapons, from giving the player the ability to listen to old music from previous games, and how the game makes you feel like it's an old school game, like from the secrets on every corner to health pickups, plus to the fact if you pre-order the game you're given a copy of Doom 64, what I didn't do sadly. But in your main cave there is an old DOS PC which has Doom 1 and 2 to play on it, if you somehow didn't play it until now. And those are the reasons why I would say you need to find yourself a copy of Doom and let Doom devour your soul internally, because you won't regret it. And that's are some of the reasons why I think Doom Eternal is already a classic. Thanks for making to the end of the video, hope you liked this review of Doom Eternal. For more videos like this, please like, subscribe and share. If you want to see more of Doom history, comment down below. Follow me on Instagram, the link is in the description. Hope you had a great time, take care and stay safe.